three British individuals and three international crew plus one Palestinian, that they were targeted systematically, car by car. And this happened over more than 1.5, 1.8 kilometers. So this was not just a bad luck situation where, oops, we dropped the bomb in the wrong place, or no, this was over 1.5, 1.8 kilometers with a very defined humanitarian convoy that had signs in the top, in the roof, a very colorful logo that we are obviously very proud of.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the so-called accidental airstrike from Israeli forces that claimed the lives of at least 7 aid workers from the World Central Kitchen. Now, before I continue, I want to say rest in peace to all those who died and prayers out to their families. I also want to say I'm not an anti-Semitic person. I don't care what color you are, what ethnicity you are. If you do something that seems fishy or I need to criticize it, I'm going to do it, and that's just that on that. Now, Chef Jose Andres, the Spanish-American founder of World Central Kitchen, says that his convoy was targeted specifically, systematically, car by car. And it's ridiculous to say that it was an accident because this was too well orchestrated, too well done for it to have been an accident. And there's a lot we're going to get into. We're going to get into more of that video from the beginning, a news clip from, I think, ABC, and also an article here from Daily Mail. You see this headline here. Israel had so much information on aid convoy, it blew up. They probably even knew the names of the people in the cars. Damning claim from British Army Major as former MI6 chief condemns reckless strike. So we have Chef Jose Andres, the Spanish-American of the World Central Kitchen, who was there just as aid. This was not any kind of, covert strike against Israel, trying to smuggle in weapons. They were there to literally feed people. They're delivering food, and that's it, nothing else. All right, and they're very well known to the Israelis, to the Palestinians, very well known and respected. But somehow they got bombed, and it seems to be very intentional. The British people over there, some of them say it, he's saying it. It's a lot going on. We continue. It says 8 officials accuse IDF, that's the Israeli Defense Forces, deliberately and systematically targeting the convoy. Okay. And then there's more. A former British Army major has said Israel's defense forces would have known everything about the World Central Kitchen aid convoy before Monday's drone strike that killed 7 aid workers. Chris Lincoln Jones, upon reviewing images of the damaged vehicles, characterized the strikes as highly targeted and said the missiles were absolutely perfectly accurate. The drone, an Elbit Hermes 450, is built in Israel and constitutes one of the IDF's foremost intelligence, surveillance, target acquisition, and reconnaissance vehicles. So there's more to the article. I'll link to it. Now we're going to get to a video here from ABC News. And of course, I will link to everything I'm talking about right now in the description. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Overseas tonight, the deadly Israeli airstrike killing 7 aid workers delivering food to Gaza. One of the workers, a U.S. citizen. You will see the images here tonight, what was left behind. You can actually see the convoy clearly marked. It was struck 3 times. They had alerted the Israelis beforehand. The White House tonight saying it is outraged. Prime Minister Netanyahu calling it unintentional, saying it happens in war, drawing outrage for his word.
No. There's certain things that happen, certain accidents that happen, but at a certain point, when it's so intentional, when it's so targeted, it's not just like one bomb drop. This was like different cars that were hit with different bombs. It wasn't an accident. Now, whether or not somebody did something they shouldn't have been doing on purpose is a different story, but don't say it was an accident. I'll put it to you this way. If it's an accident, I can't tell. We'll say that.
Words to Britt Clennett from Israel tonight.
Tonight, Israel facing mounting questions over why 3 clearly marked aid vehicles from the World Central Kitchen were targeted in an IDF airstrike, killing 7 workers delivering supplies. The aid group says the workers coordinated their movements with the Israeli military and were travelling in a 3-car convoy in an area deemed safe after unloading more than 100 tons of food to this warehouse brought to Gaza. ABC News confirming the convoy was then...
So look, you have the logos and the logos are still, even after the bombing, the logos are still visible. They're coordinating with the Israeli military. They are already known in the area and they're just delivering food and that's it. You see the logo on top of the vehicle that got hit very precisely with the drone strike. So how was it an accident?
Confirming the convoy was then struck 3 times. A charred van, another with a large hole in the roof where you can clearly see their logo, are the images now sparking worldwide criticism. The World Central Kitchen calling the incident unforgivable and immediately halting operations. The victims, Jacob Flickinger, a US-Canadian dual national, a Palestinian, and citizens from Australia, Poland, and 3 from the UK. In his first comments following the attack, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu launching an investigation, but saying it was unintentional and that it, quote, happens during war.
So it's an investigation to figure out if it was unintentional. How do you know it was unintentional if you've not investigated it? I don't understand.
Hours later, taking a softer approach, saying their hearts go out to their families and home countries. Tonight, the White House outraged.
This incident is emblematic of a larger problem and evidence of why distribution of aid in Gaza has been so challenging.
These people are heroes. They run into the fire, not away from it.
Despite the deepening tensions between President Biden and Netanyahu, just days ago, Biden approved the transfer of additional weapons to Israel, including 2,000-pound bombs, which have been connected to mass casualties.
That's what I'm talking about. Why are we involved in these foreign conflicts? I don't care what your opinion is about Israel and the religion or whatever. That's your thing. That's totally fine. But I don't care what country it is. I don't care what color they are. I don't care what part of the world they are originally from. I'm not for the U.S. involvement in foreign conflict thing. I'm just not with it. Whether it's Israel, Ukraine, Russia, Taiwan, North Korea, South Korea, Jupiter, Mars, I don't care. Why are we involved?
And David, just coming in now, the World Central Kitchen releasing these images of all 7 victims of that aid attack. You see them there, including the U.S. dual citizen. David?
They do just extraordinary work, the bravery of these aid workers trying to get food in, not only in Gaza, but around the world. Britt Clennick.
So that's what's happening out there. Now, let's get to more of this video here. This is from CBS News. Well, this is from Reuters, and it's from Chef Jose Andres. It says, Chef Jose Andres, who founded the World Central Kitchen, said the 7 aid workers killed by an Israeli airstrike were targeted deliberately, and he believes the conflict in Gaza is not a war against terrorism anymore, and instead it's a war against humanity itself. Israel blamed the strike on misidentification. How are you able to how you misidentify them? They have their vans clearly labeled, marked. You saw the picture with the logo right on top. So if you have a drone that can see and it can magnify and understand exactly what you're looking at, and you're known to the Israelis, you're communicating with the Israelis, you're telling them where you're going to go, what you're going to do, then why was their convoy hit not once, but twice, but 3 times? If there's a bomb that hits nearby and it was intended for a different target, you just happen to be close by and there's some damage, maybe I might understand that. But 3 times in precise strikes after you told them where you're going to be, I'm not buying it. Let's hear this. 7
team members between the specialty security people we have, 3 British individuals and 3 international crew plus 1 Palestinian, that they were targeted systematically, car by car. And this happened over more than 1.5, 1.8 kilometers. So this was not just bad luck situation where, we dropped the bomb in the wrong place or no, this was over 1.5, 1.8 kilometers with a very defined humanitarian convoy that had signs in the top, in the roof, a very colorful logo that we are obviously very proud of, but that's very clear who we are and what we do. But what I know is that we were targeted deliberately, non-stop, until everybody was dead in this convoy. That cannot be That cannot be the role of an army. That cannot be the role of an army that has hundreds of drones above Gaza in any single moment. Humanitarians and civilians should never be paying the consequences of war. This is a basic principle of humanity. At the time, this looks like it's not a war against terrorism anymore. Seems this is a war against humanity itself. You cannot be destroying every building. You cannot be destroying every hospital, every school. You cannot be targeting humanitarian. You cannot be targeting children. You cannot be fighting the basis of what humanity should be standing for.
So that's what's happening. Again, that's Chef Jose Andres, Spanish-American, founded the World Central Kitchen. And he's saying that his convoy, the convoy they had out there with the 7-8 workers, was targeted deliberately, car by car. And I think that he's correct. Now, as I close, I want to say this. It doesn't really matter what side, quote unquote, of the war that you're on, whether you're for the Palestinians or the Israelis, it doesn't really matter. At a certain point, we're talking about humanitarians. Why are they being targeted? Why? All they're doing is delivering food. That's it. Why are they being targeted? Especially when you're communicating with the Israelis and there's no problem. So you have permission to be there. You're telling them, okay, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be there. This is unacceptable. Completely. It can't just be, oops, somebody did something they shouldn't be doing, or this just might be what the Israelis wanted because they don't want aid to come into Gaza. There's already a blockade on the Mediterranean Sea. There's already been ships shot at that were trying to bring in aid to Gaza before the October 7th thing. So I don't want to hear that excuse either. So maybe this is a continuation of the same thing. Maybe it's a message. Hey, don't send aid there. Just let us just destroy everything. We'll take it over, and then there'll be no more Palestine. Maybe that's the objective. I don't know. I'm just asking questions and throwing things out there, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion on what's going on here? Do you think it was an accident to drone strike a convoy 3 times over a period of a couple miles when you told them where you're going to be and who's going to be there? And you can see the logo on top of the vehicle. It's colorful. The logo was still visible after the drone strikes that took 7 lives. But I'm going to be told it's an accident, a mistake. Oops. Are you buying that? I'm not really buying it. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I'm just not buying the official response. And if you are a government, it doesn't matter who the enemy is. You can't just do stuff like that, okay? When the U.S. was in Iraq and then we were taking innocent lives, that shouldn't be happening the same way. But the Israelis in Palestine taking innocent lives, humanitarians, you can't even say, oh, it's about war because, okay, you might say, well, we had to bomb a hospital because Hamas was in there. Well, who is in the 8 truck that you already have spoken with? Who's in there? What, like you're going to, what is the excuse? There is no excuse. Inexcusable, unacceptable. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.